arrested and detained for a reason not clearly known.
The only hint that I was given is it's because of my association with the UPC.
Escaped and fled with the help of sympathizers.
Their concern was, why would somebody arrest an innocent man like this?
And returned to the country with persuasion of the president.
Everything that was promised to me has been delivered.
This is summary enough to tell the story of 62-year-old George Okurapa, a Ugandan living in Canada as a manager welfare for one of the cities. "35 years ago, George Okurapa was the guild president of Makerere University in Kampala. He had been elected under Uganda People's Congress ticket.
Even at that time when the country had been liberated, there were still some of us who fell victim to the leadership of the country at that time. And I was one of those. I'm one person who I had never had a job in Uganda. I was a guild president at Makerere.
But not everyone was happy that he occupied that office. One of them was the then Director General of Military Intelligence, General Mugisha Muntu. Barely a year after Uganda had just been liberated, Muntu is reported to have arrested George Okurapa for a crime not known to date.
In all the interrogations that I sat in front of Mugisha Muntu, not once did he tell me the true reason why I was arrested. Apart from he kept referring to my being a strong supporter of Uganda People's Congress.
It took sympathy from people within the security circles to aid his escape. This was executed just a day when he was meant to be transferred to another detention center in western Uganda.
I had a girlfriend sitting there. She's my wife now. She used to bring food for me. They stopped her from coming to bring food for me. They threatened to arrest her if they saw her come to see me. I realized that the authorities were now trying to isolate me, and I sensed there was trouble. And it is after sensing that trouble that some good Samaritans within the government, they were very sympathetic, with my situations, and they helped me in my escape.
After 2 years of life in Kenya, where he had been granted political asylum, he found himself in Canada.
So when I was in Nairobi, I attended a function, and Canadian authorities were part of that function, and through conversations, I was given an offer by the United Nations High Commission for Refugees in Nairobi, and they basically said, "Do you want to go to Canada?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And my case was so special.
Life in exile may not have been easy as he alludes, but his status as a permanent resident in Canada made him somewhat comfortable.
Arriving there as a permanent resident means you are getting the same privileges as a citizen of that country. In terms of employment, you can work for the government. Education, you are a resident. And that is really, really, really important. And that's why, as soon as I arrived there, it didn't take me long, to get a job with the government. I work with the government in Canada. I work with the city of Toronto, where I am the community and labor market manager, for the city of Toronto.
It was while in Canada that he met and forgave Major General Mugisha Muntu for purposes of reconciliation and peaceful coexistence.
We met, we hugged, and it was the best moment for me because it gave me the opportunity to tell him that I have put behind whatever happened. I forgive you, and we forgive each other, and we hugged. And that is the spirit of reconciliation. There were emotions in those hugs. There were emotions in that encounter. But I think that is what the country needs.
His return home was not a one-day's discussion. It took persuasion from government and other officials for him to give in, something he does not regret.
The offer that the president put forward was, if George, please ask George to come back. And I have no problem with George coming back. And if he comes home, we'll provide him with security. And I have to tell you, it was a bold decision for me to accept the offer. And from the time I've come here, the president has kept his word.
What lesson does his return to Uganda give? What is his observation of the country 35 years later? Had he not fled the country, what would he be today in Uganda? These are some of the questions that we seek answers to as we delve into the second part of the life of George Okurapa, the former guild president of Makerere University. Henry Okurut, UBC.